In this video, I will share the step-by-step SOP we use to create direct response video sales setters for our 8 and 9-figure clients. I will also share a complete case study breakdown where our VSL added over 6 figures in monthly profits. So you and I are going to dissect the exact research, scripting, and editing process so that you can apply it to your offer too. Now, super exciting videos. Now let's get straight into it. The case study that we are going to break down today is from KinoBuddy, right? You've probably seen Greg before on social media. I've myself watched him for over 10 years now. He's one of the biggest personal brands in the male fitness space. And one of his products that he was selling is the testosterone supplement called Kino Mojo, right? And he got a lot of organic traction really fast because of his large social following. But he wasn't really able to scale the supplement on Facebook and Instagram ads, right? Simply because the market has been penetrated by dozens of similar products. If you go into the Facebook ad library right now, you're going to find thousands of competitors selling some form of variation of a testosterone supplement. Now, it really worked well on this organic following, right? But not really for cold traffic. So what we did is we completely revamped the product messaging, created a unique bundle, crafted a basically completely new offer with another supplement that we bundled together in a stack, and then also digital product. If you want to understand more about the code-friendly offer, then I suggest clicking on this. It's basically the complete breakdown of how we build code-friendly offers for our clients. But then the main driver for the whole success of this funnel was a carefully crafted direct response VSL. So I'm going to break down this complete video sales data in great detail, every single word that we have written down in this VSL, every single second. It's a 14 minute VSL that we're going to dissect together today. But before I do that in detail, I want to share the exact practices and principles behind doing this, right? So basically all of the research, all of the SOPs, everything that's going into crafting a video sales setter, right? Because if I just show you the case and explain it, that's great, but then you don't really understand how to use this and replicate this whole funnel system, the whole VSL for your brand and your product successfully. So that's why I want to talk about the VSL principles first, right? So first of all, I want to touch a bit about why are we using VSLs, right? So if you want to scale profitably beyond 8 figures per year, beyond $1 million a month, you need to focus more on cold traffic, right? I've just recorded a video about this with another case study of a client of ours where we took them from 60,000 per day to 100,000 per day in just 3 months. So I suggest watching that, where I explain more about how to utilize code-friendly funnels. But the main concept, and I'm just going to jump in this mirror bot really quick, is that basically, if you look at the funnel, right, top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, I always like to draw it as a V shape, right? And the reason because of this is that the more unaware the prospects are, the bigger the total addressable market is, right? This top of funnel audience. And most brands are just going for this bottom of funnel audience where they are most aware or they are ready to buy a product, but it's also a way smaller market segment, right? Which is why if you want to scale past around $1 million a month, or 8 figures per year, you really need to go upwards this funnel and target the more less aware people. So that's why I write converting cold traffic. So you should utilize VSLs if you already scaled your ads and if you know which avatars and which angles are the best converting and most profitable. So with KinoBuddy, what we found is that obviously for the testosterone supplement, one of the mass marketing desires is dating. Right? If we think about the main psychological drivers following Eugene Schwartz, we have mating on the one hand side and fear of dying on the other hand side, right? So we quickly figured out that we should use dating as the main angle because it's such a base desire of every single human being. So we could have used the angle of muscle building, cognitive performance, boosting confidence, yada, right? But the dating angle was proven to work. So this is why you really need to have a good understanding of your avatar and your angle first. Because if you're going to craft a VSL and you just speak to everyone, nobody's really going to listen, right? Maybe you're familiar with the sentence, riches are in the niches. Ads are way easier to test and iterate rather than the funnel behind them. So you want to invest resources in what is already working rather than always getting distracted by the next shiny object. So if you don't know what works, you should figure it out before then doing huge resources into it and before then crafting a VSL, right? So just because we have great success with VSLs for a lot of our clients, please do the research and do the heavy lifting first before just copy and pasting this. Now, bonus, if you add a VSL VSL to an already profitable angle, you will automatically create full funnel congruency, right? And this is increasing conversion rate and is violated by a lot of brands. So how do you find a profitable angle in avatar? The foundation effect is everyone has access to the same information, so you really need to maximize on what others do not do or what others don't have, right? So you want to use strategic leverage and you want to put in effort where it brings you the most return on invest. And in this case, it's research, copywriting, and production, which we're going to break down now. Now, with research, everybody thinks, okay, I already do that, right? But in reality, most brands are just looking at their competitors, looking at the Facebook ad library, or just put stuff into ChatGPT and say, analyze my customer avatar. And that's not research, right? And that's why also so many brands and the messaging seems generic and easily interchangeable. So you need to do things differently to differentiate your brand and product from the rest. And this will get you out of the red ocean and allows you not only to convert way more traffic, but also increase your average order value, because you will be perceived as the only option, the best option. Not because of a completely different product, new product, whatever, simply because of superior messaging. And this is mostly because you don't really need to reinvent the wheel, right? It's just because you have the most control and therefore leverage that you can apply in your marketing, and also you have the biggest perceived value of your product because of the messaging that you now have cracked. And in order to craft a superior message, you need to master research and put way more effort into the research process than everybody else is doing. So here are 3 incredibly underused but highly effective ways to do better research for message mining. One is a really optimized post-purchase survey, right? So meaning talking to your existing customers. I like to send out emails to the existing customer base. I like to get on the phone with the existing customers, really do post-purchase surveys and all of that. I like to do deep dives into Reddit. And I like to use something what I like to call psychological profiling with tools like the motive compass and mass desire identification. I've broken down this whole process in the master thesis that I've linked here, and this is going to take over 80% of your time and effort. And by the way, I've also included all of the SOPs that we use for research in this master thesis, so I really suggest you to check this out. Now, I know this sounds simple, right? And that's why most people don't do it, but that's why this is your opportunity to get competitive advantage. You have to think about everybody else, right? They are all lazy. They all just want to copy what works from somebody else. So it's, first of all, that's the research, right? But then it's not enough to just understand your ICP and theory with data. You need to put it in practice with exceptional copywriting. So again, copywriting, same with research, is a term that everybody seems to know, right? But only few really understand what it means. And even fewer can put it into practice and make top 1% of money with copywriting. So really hot recommendation is to read Breakthrough Advertising from Eugene Schwartz, right? This book, I've also gifted this book to hundreds of friends, and also sometimes I did presentations on stage where I would give this book away because it's so valuable. So please read this book. Now, the key takeaway is not exactly what you're saying, but who you're talking to, right? So if we look at the funnel, and I've broken this down earlier in terms of the different awareness stages of prospects, the top of funnel segment, unaware, problem aware people, have a huge market size, right? So therefore also a huge potential to scale. Now, it's obviously super incredibly difficult to sell to this audience because they're so unaware. They don't even know that they have a problem, or they just know that they have a problem, but don't know how to solve this problem, right? So obviously we want to scale with cold traffic, but the less aware the prospects, the harder to sell to them. So we really have to figure out how can we talk to these people, right? Who are these people exactly, and how can we talk to them? Now, this is in itself often a huge challenge for most founders and their team, as they are victims of the curse of knowledge. And the curse of knowledge, or the curse of expertise, is basically a term where you have a cognitive bias where you incorrectly assume that everyone knows as much as we do on a given topic. And this just means that you as the brand owner, you know your brand in and out, you know all of the products in and out, and then you think, okay, well, and that's the bias. I know all of this stuff, then if I run an ad, they will also know all of this stuff. But no, they don't. If you run ads, they are not going to know all of the same stuff that you know about the brand. And this makes it incredibly difficult for them to judge great copy for cold audiences, let alone write it themselves. So the long story short is, you need to do better research with more advanced methods, and you need to assess market sophistication and awareness level. So how do you write good copy for VSL specifically, there's two things. First, and this is a tool that a good friend of mine, Toby Allen, gave me. Shout out if you see this video. A 2-year-old should be able to understand it without any problems, right? So you want to focus on a readability level below the 7th grade, right? So if your copy seems too stupid and simple to work, it's just about right for comprehension for most people. So just use this app. You can put in your VSL and all of this, and then it's going to tell you what reading grade this is, right? And one interesting fact, for example, Donald Trump in most of his political speeches, he has a readability level of, I think, like a 4th grader on average, right? So you really want to be a maximum of grade 7. You want to make it super, super easy to understand. And the second thing is, this is how your video sales letter should be structured. And this is the exact style that we structured the whole video sales letter for KinoBuddy that I'm going to break down later on in this video. So you want to focus on educating rather than saying directly. So if you look at the VSL high level, this is what it looks like. We start with the hook, then we expand on the promise. Then we first of all build authority. We then tell a personal story with an epiphany. We then educate more around the problem and the solution. We then, at the end, show them the product. We then educate them more around the solution, and then we have the call to action. So prospects don't even hear about the product until 2/3 of the VSL, right? So in the first 50% of the VSL, they don't even hear anything about the product. So the long story short with the VSL is you want to really focus on desired situation, current situation, transformation, meaning educate before you sell. You want to tell stories rather than just listing facts, and you want to give them options with your product being the best and most viable one. So around here in the VSL, which you're going to find later on, we are throwing shades at all the other solutions. So we literally will tell prospects, listen, you have 5 options right now, and then we will educate them on each of these options and say, well, after all of this education, you're going to probably see yourself that option 1, 2, 3, 4 are shit. And the only option is this one. And then obviously we have the product that we sell to them. So the biggest mistake with this is trying to sell to people too soon and thereby missing out on making them aware of the problem, making them feel understood, educating them on what's out there in the market and why it doesn't work for a lot of people, or introducing a seemingly new solution with a magic mechanism, with a unique mechanism that perfectly fits them. Right? And this is also similar to your hybrid product pages. I've talked about this in another video where we sometimes like to build product pages where we don't show the product and the price point at the top. But first of all, the first 50% of the product page are essentially, and I will just open this up and show you, the first 50% of the product page are basically just, education, desired situation, pain, trust, and all of this stuff, right? So what you can see here, first 50% of the product page, we educate user, then we pitch the product and give them the price point, and then we have some more around the specific product. So now, thirdly, you want to use these psychological principles to educate your prospects. First of all, we want to have a unique mechanism. Unique mechanism, I'll probably produce a video about this soon. It's essentially the idea of we explain what we do and the features of the products in a new way that the customer never heard before. So it seems like something completely unique and completely new to them. Then we talk about desired situation, painful problems, and current situation, social comparison, extrapolation, and superlatives, objections and false belief, and then authority and proof. So these are the different psychological principles, and it will all click in just a second when we break it down with the VSL script, right? But these are from the psychological perspective, the principles that we use to educate the prospects. So let's talk about production, and then I will just jump in the case study and show you the whole VSL. In order to produce a video sales letter, you need to choose your brand faces, right? This can be UGC and influencers, this can be generative AI, or this could be internal people from your team, right? So for example, in this case, influencer-driven brand, we used Greg for the VSL. After you did recording, it needs to be edited, right? Because generally, you can split the key components of a VSL in 3 parts. It's first of all the principles, meaning all of the psychology. Secondly, the words, so what is being said, and then the presentation, how do we present it to the prospects with editing. So we already broke down the psychology, and we're going to look at the exact copy after this. Now let's talk about editing. How do we present it to them? And most of the times, these are the different editing effects, right? So in most cases, the VSL is like a straight to the camera of a person talking to the camera. So this is a talking head A-roll. Now, the next thing is that you write the text on effects, right? So you've seen this on a bunch of YouTube videos before, but just like writing the captions on the screen. Smooth zoom, like zooming into the face, for example, and then transition effects. Matching B-roll. So for example, we will say something like, and some guys don't get any attraction from girls. And then it will be a guy who's looking at the girl and the girl just walking past him, right? So we have matching B-roll, we have matching sound effects, and we have matching music. And these are all subtle but really, really strong ways that support the whole presentation of the video sales letter, and also have a huge impact on hook rate and view rate, like how much time they spend with the VSL. And obviously, the more they consume the VSL, the higher the probability of them buying, right? So this is super important. Now, mindset: marketing is founder's responsibility. Editing is the editor's responsibility. You shouldn't think that you can just write shit copy, give it to your editor, and he would then make a Hollywood VSL that's going to perform. And you can find thousands of retention editors, but only very, very few people are able to understand your ICP and articulate their pains like you. Now, you want to analyze the VSLs in different layers, right? What are they saying? Why are they saying it? And how are they supporting the message with the presentation? And I would just exactly analyze a couple of VSLs from different competitors that you can find online, just to get a good understanding and educate yourself more around usage of VSLs. So now we've went through a lot of theory, but I want to focus on real life example now. That's really perfect execution of all of this. And this is the exact VSL SOP that we've used to drive over $50 million for our clients and our brands. And this is just one of the many examples, but I figured I'm gonna just walk you through one of them, right? So VSL breakdown. Now again, we have the different copywriting principles. Now what you can see here on screen is exactly the complete script for this VSL, and you can see it was around 13 minutes long. Now what I'm going to do now is just play the VSL, right? And like the different segments of the VSL, and then afterwards I'm going to explain the exact copy behind this to you. Now let's start with the hook.
The unfair advantage that allows some guys to almost magically attract women, effortlessly slide from one girl to the next, and get chased, loved, and adored by 10 out of 10 women, while you may struggle to get a text back, quality matches on Tinder, let alone serious dates or a girlfriend. Let's cut the shit.
So we've just watched the hook, right? And here we've used the different color grading to make it easy for you to understand like what to do when. But we start with the unique mechanism, which is essentially this whole unfair advantage that allows some guys to almost magically attract women and effortlessly. And then we move into the desired situation, effortlessly slide from one girl to the next, get chased, loved, and adored by 10 out of 10 women. And then we switch it to the viewer saying, while you, and then we talk about the pain and current situation, while you may struggle to get a text back, quality matches on Tinder, let alone serious dates or girlfriend. And you can see here, for example, with the B-roll, that we show him with a couple of girls, right? So this is a great example of B-roll. And this is also a really great example of some more B-roll, right, where the audience is laying in the bed on Tinder and not getting any any matches or any text back. Now let's look at the...
You've seen it before. The guys who just seem to almost magically attract women, who are effortlessly sliding from one girl to the next, who are getting chased, loved, and adored by 10 out of 10s, while most guys fail hard. For these guys, it seems as though opportunities are just falling on their lap with little to no effort, and they may not even be that much smarter, taller, or better looking than you. And it can almost be confusing because some of the guys you think that wouldn't be good with women are getting insane results. So what is going on? It's as if they have this unfair advantage that makes women almost fall for them, even if their friends are like, hey, don't go out with him, he's a player. They still do it. And for you, it almost feels like you're just destined to have a lackluster dating life. And if this wasn't frustrating enough, people tell you that, learn to be alone, be happy by yourself, or just accept it, bro, your soulmate will find you one day. And these words are nothing more than some self-help bullshit that doesn't help you at all. And you're right, okay? But here's the thing. The difference between you and the guys that just crush it, okay? It's not what you think. It's actually the unfair advantage they possess that I'm about to reveal to you. And again, it's not game, it's not looks, it's not height, it's not having millions of dollars or any wild pickup artist techniques. It's actually something way more profound and important.
So you've just seen the video, right? And with the script again, first of all, we say, let's cut the shit. You've seen it before. And then we always talk about the social comparison. So if you think about this visually, right? Like this is the viewer that's watching the film, and then the VSL, and then we're always talking about these guys, the other guys that have the unfair advantage. And then the viewer basically always sees these guys. So you've seen it before, the guys. And then we talk about desired situation and compare it to current situation with the pain points. The guys who just seem to almost magically attract girls, who are effortlessly sliding from one relationship to the next, and who are getting chased, loved, and adored by tens, while most guys fail hard. For those guys, it just seems as though opportunities are on their lap with little to no effort, and they may not even be that much smarter, taller, or better looking than you, right? So what do we do here? We again talk about the unique mechanism, and then we start triggering their objections and false beliefs, right? And one of the objections and false beliefs that we found in the Reddit research is they always write, it's because I look bad, it's because I don't have money, it's because they're smart or whatever. So we start triggering their objections and false belief and say, no, it's nothing about that, it's something else. What we do then is, again, superlative, so we extrapolate a bit, and it can almost be confusing because some of the guys you think that wouldn't be good with women are getting insane results. So what is going on? It's as, and here again, unique mechanism, it's as if they had this unfair advantage that makes women almost fall to them. Even if their friends are like, hey, don't go out with him, he's a player, they still do it. And for you, we go back to viewer, it almost seems like you're just destined to have a lackluster dating life. And if this wasn't frustrating enough, people tell you that, learn to be alone or just accept it, bro. Your soulmate will find you someday. And these words are nothing more than some self-help bullshit that doesn't help you at all. And you're right. But here's the thing. The difference between you and the guys that just crush it, it's not what you think. It's actually the unfair advantage that they possess that I'm about to reveal with you. And again, it's not game, it's not looks, it's not hate, it's not having millions of dollars or any worldwide pickup artist techniques. It's actually something way more profound and important. So what you're seeing in the script is that we always alternate and jump in between these different copywriting principles of talking about the unique mechanism, talking about their desired situation, what they want to have, talking about their current situation with all of the pain points they have, comparing them to people they want to be like, extrapolate certain aspects of this and make them bigger, talk about the objections and false beliefs that they have where we have to solve them and educate them, and then also giving them authority and proof. So you can see that's why also this text is so colorful, because we always switch between that. Now let's look at the next section.
The secret, let me introduce myself, okay? My name is Greg Gallagher. Now, you may have seen me on my YouTube channel, Kino Body, or on podcasts like More Plates, More Dates, or talking with Jordan Belfort, or the Fresh and Fit guys, revealing how I cracked the code to the male life. Now, in this video, I want to finally reveal the unfair advantage that, after all, explains your questions, okay? Questions like, why has it become so difficult for most men to get dates and quality girlfriends, while other guys seem to have more options than they know what to do with? Why do lots of guys that are called handsome and attractive still struggle with women and to get women interested in them? And why is the dating life so unfair for men? It feels like the cards are stacked against you, that a small minority of men get all the results and most guys are left in the dust. So I'm gonna finally pull back the curtains on it. The cold and harsh reality of why beautiful women won't date 95% of guys watching this video right now. Even if you feel like you're doing everything right, why women are biologically programmed by Mother Nature to be attracted to this unfair advantage. Meaning, if you have it, it makes you almost irresistible. The dark truth about the difference between you and the guys that seem to have it all, and why you will lose them in competition unless you fix it. Now, I know you feel like you just have bad luck or you're just not that guy, but that is not true. There is a solution. Now, in this video, I'm gonna reveal how almost everyone can get a hold of this unfair advantage. So make sure to watch this video to the very end, because we're gonna get into some really, really cool stuff.
So what we've done in the beginning is we've introduced the unique mechanism, we've expanded on the promise, and now we want to build authority and proof for Greg, basically the person who is talking through this whole VSL. So before I reveal the secret, let me introduce myself. My name is Greg. Now you may have seen me on YouTube channel, my own YouTube channel, on podcast, or talking with Jordan Belfort or other guys, revealing how I cracked the code to male life. Now in this video, I want to finally reveal the unfair advantage that after all explains your questions. Questions like, why has it become so difficult for most men to get dates and quality girlfriends, while other guys seem to have more options than they know what to do with? So what you can see here in the script is that we oftentimes use the exact same pain points written in different variations, right? Why do lots of guys that are called handsome and attractive still struggle with women and to get women interested in them? And why is the dating life so unfair for men? It feels like the cards are stacked against you. And that a small minority of men get all the results and most guys are left in dust. So I'm going to finally pull back the curtains on it. The cold and harsh reality of why beautiful women won't date 95% of guys watching this whole video right now. Even if you feel like you're doing it right. Why women are biologically programmed by Mother Nature to be attracted to this unfair advantage, meaning if you have it, it makes you almost irresistible. The dark truth about the difference between you and the guys that seem to have it all and why you will lose them in competition unless you fix it. Now, I know you feel like you just have had bad luck or you're just not that guy, but that is not true. There's a solution. Now in this video, I'm going to reveal how almost everyone can get a hold of this unfair advantage. So make sure you watch this video to the very end because we're going to get into some really cool stuff. Now with this, we first of all build authority and proof around Greg, who's going to talk about this. And then we really expand on the promise and hook them and tell them, hey, again, talking about the unique mechanism, talking about it's not what you think it is, it's something way different. And if you watch this video, then you're going to learn all of this and then one day be able to get girls. Now, the next thing, let's watch this together, but the next
really cool stuff. Now, before I reveal the secret, I need to tell you the story of how I discovered this unfair advantage. So I was at dinner last winter in Miami at Poppy Steak with some buddies, and we started talking about women, and it was very interesting. One of the guys at the table was tall, good looking, had tons of money, and he was struggling with women. He was telling us about how he's getting ghosted here. This girl wouldn't text him back. He was hanging out with this girl, but this girl friend zoned him. And I was like, what is going on? I couldn't understand why this guy just wasn't getting any results with women. And I started talking to him a lot more, and he was having bad sleep. He was super stressed at work. And I said, listen, go get your blood work checked. In fact, a few months ago, I did my blood work with more plates, more dates, and I found out my free testosterone was at the very top of the reference range. So a few weeks go by, he hits me up, he gets his blood work done, and his free T was extremely low. It was under 10 nanograms per deciliter. And no wonder he wasn't getting results with women. His free T was insanely low. And so I had this hypothesis. The most beautiful women are very feminine, and man and woman are attracted to the polarity. The more masculine you are, the more you can attract a beautiful feminine woman. When your testosterone levels are really low, you get put in the friend zone. Women do not see you as the man they want to be with. They don't get excited by you. They see you as a friend. So I actually found this really, really fascinating, and I started to do some more research at home. So Adam was tall, good looking, had money, but he had no mojo. His testosterone levels were low, and that's why he was getting friend zone. He could have the right thing to say, the cool pad, be in the right place, the right time, but women never got lit up. Study after study shows evidence in humans and even in animals, if your testosterone levels are very, very low, your chance of mating diminishes incredibly. For example, in an Australian study, they found that testosterone levels are correlated with mating success, but not with attractiveness. So you don't even have to be a male model to get incredible results. You just have to have your testosterone levels dialed. And this explains why some guys have no trouble getting girls, even if they're not the best looking. And there were even studies that showed that having high testosterone levels is almost like a natural perfume that's biologically designed to attract women. It's engraved in their DNA to choose the men with higher T levels. And then the kicker came. This secret advantage also helps you build muscle, lose fat, be more ambitious, sleep better, have better skin, and more energy. It sets you up for massive success in life. So the guys with the high testosterone had this genetic lottery ticket that gave them an unfair advantage in the dating market and literally everywhere else. So as if a light bulb went off in my head, because this would mean that having high T levels is the difference between guys that seem to magically attract women and those that get almost unnoticed. So crazy enough, after this whole experiment, I had a few of my buddies go and get their T levels checked. And without fail, the guys that were really good with women had very high testosterone, and the guys that went basically unnoticed were very low.
Now let's look at the copy together. Now, before I reveal the secret, I need to tell you the story of how I discovered this unfair advantage. I was at Poppy Steak with some buddies and we started talking about women, and it was very interesting. One of the guys at the table was tall, good looking, had tons of money, and he was struggling with women. He was telling us about how he was getting ghosted there, this girl wouldn't text him back, he was hanging out with this girl, but she friend zoned him, and I was like, what is going on? Right. I think with most of the script now, I've explained the psychological principles a couple of times to you guys, and this is just going through the whole script again. So I will just show you like each part of the VSL and then go high level through the script, not reading it word for word to you, because either way I'm going to put this document underneath in the comment section for you to just go through. So I will just now highlight the most important aspects of the videos. And also a bit more of the psychological principles, right? Because essentially what we do with the storytelling and the epiphany, and you can see it's quite a long section of the VSL, like around 2 to 3 minutes, is we want to basically build a personal story, show a personal story, build personal rapport, and then also kind of guide the prospect to how Greg, or essentially how the person who's doing the VSL, found the solution, right? So that's why we open up the story at him being at Poppy Stack with some buddies, and then again doing some objection handling and talking about current pain points and really building this relatability to the audience, and then kind of talking about this whole thing about testosterone and why testosterone is so important, right? And then we really educate them around hey, the main problem is that his testosterone levels were low, and that's why he was getting friend-zoned, right? Then we start citing a couple of studies, like Australian studies, some more studies, right? Where we talk about you don't need to look good, you just have to have a solid testosterone level. And then later we talk about the testosterone is basically like a genetic lottery ticket, and it gives you an unfair advantage in the dating market, right? Because this gets you attractive to women. So this is essentially the whole thing that we talk about here. Now, the first 3 minutes were just about introducing Greg, talking about the unique mechanism, hook proof, and all of this stuff. And now we start talking about why testosterone is important. Now let's look at the next section together.
Oh, but why was this happening? Was this just Mother Nature's curse? The bad news is that men's testosterone levels have dropped almost 50% in the last 4 decades, which means that almost everyone has a testosterone deficiency these days. But not only that, but sperm quality is down 50%, and there's more male virgins than ever before. So this is for a variety of reasons, okay? People have become less active, they're more sedentary, they're eating worse food, but there's all these endocrine disruptors in our environment. The body wash we put on, in plastics, it's literally everywhere. In scented products, we're exposed to so many estrogens, then radiation, phone in the pocket, laptop. There's so many things that are disrupting your body's own ability to produce testosterone. And of course, the increase in stress and mental health problems and poor sleep has also played a massive role in poor testosterone production. It's not your fault. The modern world around you is literally designed to destroy your testosterone levels. So this also explains why it's so tough out there for most men. I mean, women are obviously attracted to high T men, and we live in a world designed to keep male testosterone low. It doesn't take a genius to realize that. But how do you know if your T levels are low for sure? Low T is linked to anxiety and depression. If your mental health is off, you're feeling anxious, if you're not sleeping well, if your sex drive is lower, you have lower energy, if you don't have that ambition and drive to hit the gym. High T makes work feel good. You want to lift, you want to train, you want to work hard. And so most men kind of feel a bit apathetic. And if you have a hard time really packing on muscle, your T levels are probably very low. Also, maybe you feel like you're stressed easily and you feel more emotional. Now, obviously there are a lot more symptoms, but these are some of the main ones. So if you find yourself with some of these symptoms, it probably means you may have a testosterone deficiency. But it's not all bad news. I also have some good news. This also means that the few men who still have high T these days can just clean up. These are the 5% of men that get the craziest results, the ones who are just genetically gifted. They live life on cheat mode, favored by Mother Nature itself.
Now what we talk about here basically is really dive into the education. Now we really want to have the prospect understand why testosterone is so important, why nowadays most people don't have high testosterone, and also what you can do to fix this, right? So we talk about the problem, we educate them around the problem, we talk about the follow-up problems of the problem, right? Example given, if you don't fix your low testosterone, then you have anxiety, depression, your mental health is off, low energy, low sex drive, low ambition, all of this stuff, right? And then at the end of this section, we then basically talk about, okay, now we've educated you around the problem, why you experience all of the pain points, why you should really do something to solve this. and then we start introducing the product, right? It's not all bad news. I also have some good news. This means that you can do something about this, right? Now let's look at the next section of the VSL together.
But why was this happening? Was this just Mother Nature's curse? The bad news is that men's testosterone levels have dropped almost 50% in the last 4 decades, which means that almost everyone has a testosterone deficiency these days. But not only that, but sperm quality is down 50% and there's more male virgins than ever before. So this is for a variety of reasons, okay? People have become less active, they're more sedentary, they're eating worse food, but there's all these endocrine disruptors in our environment. The body wash we put on, in plastics, it's literally everywhere. In scented products, we're exposed to so many estrogens, then radiation, phone in the pocket, laptop. There's so many things that are disrupting your body's own ability to produce testosterone. And of course, the increase in stress and mental health problems and poor sleep has also played a massive role in poor testosterone production. It's not your fault. The modern world around you is literally designed to destroy your testosterone levels. So this also explains why it's so tough out there for most men. I mean, women are obviously attracted to high T men, and we live in a world designed to keep male testosterone low. It doesn't take a genius to realize that. But how do you know if your T levels are low for sure? Low T is linked to anxiety and depression. If your mental health is off, you're feeling anxious, if you're not sleeping well, if your sex drive is lower, you have lower energy, if you don't have that ambition and drive to hit the gym. High T makes work feel good. You want to lift, you want to train, you want to work hard. And so most men kind of feel a bit apathetic. And if you have a hard time really packing on muscle, your T levels are probably very low. Also, maybe you feel like you're stressed easily and you feel more emotional.
Now let's look at the copy together for the product. So if you want to know how that is good for you, let me tell you a little secret. You can actually increase your testosterone levels naturally, right? So here we then basically talk about different cases, different stories of different people. And as you've seen, we shown them the before and afters on the screen. And we basically build a lot of proof. Now, after we've built all of this proof, walk through the different cases, we talk about the solution, how to actually do this. Now let's look at the video together here.
Now, if you want to have the unfair advantage, there are 3 simple science-backed pillars you need to master. So there's specific training and nutrition protocols that can ramp up your testosterone production. Secondly, the right key supplements can make a massive difference, okay? I've seen guys increase their testosterone 200 plus points with the right key supplements. And finally, for the absolute best results, you need to cut out these certain endocrine disruptors which stop your body's ability to produce testosterone. Now, if you master these 3, you'll remove the brakes on your testosterone production and you'll start to feel incredible and effortlessly attract women all around. I want to help as many men as possible break free from the chains and get their testosterone levels to an amazing place where they can finally attract the woman they desire. That's why I created a challenge. A complete 360-degree challenge designed to give you a fast and easy science-based roadmap to master all of these 3 pillars and skyrocket your testosterone levels in as little as 30 days. We launched this challenge a while ago and the results have been insane. So inside Mojo Mastery, you get the exact training program to sculpt the fuck me now physique and raise testosterone levels in just 3 workouts per week. Now, this is responsible for thousands of mind-boggling transformations. As well, you're getting the easy-to-follow nutrition protocol designed to optimize and support your body's testosterone levels and allow you to cut off fat and gain muscle with ease. Third, you're gonna get the endocrine disruptor blueprint, and I'll show you exactly how to cut out these harmful chemicals from your environment and your body so your body feels way better and you can produce way more testosterone. And you get the supplement stack, which is the Kino Mojo. The Kino Mojo is systematically designed to increase testosterone production. It helps to methylate estrogen levels, and it helps to free up more bound up testosterone. And that free testosterone is really what gives you the most power. That's what can exert its function on your cells, help with muscle growth, sex drive, ambition. So increasing the free testosterone is really the most important. And you get the nitro. So the Mojo is for testosterone, the nitro improves blood flow. So you get amazing pumps in the gym, more energy, clearer skin, and you have a freaking battering ram in the bedroom. The blood flow is crazy. So these 2 combined, it is a secret advantage. And the best part is we normally sell this package for $297, but for a limited time, I'll give you the whole thing, the training nutrition, the endocrine blueprint, and the supplements for just $97. This means all you have to do is pay for the supplements and get the whole program for free. And on top of that, we are so confident in this challenge that we offer a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. This means if you don't like the results from the challenge in any shape or form, you will get your money back. But that will not happen because the results we're getting on this is insane. Once you go on the Mojo Mastery Protocol, you're never gonna wanna go off. You're gonna be loving the unfair advantage. So this leaves you.
Now let's break down the copy together. So essentially what do we do here in this part? And that's also why I wrote the note. The first mention of the product appears at minute 10 of 30 minutes, right? So really the first 10 minutes we didn't even mention the product. So we talk about basically the different protocols, we talk about the different pillars, and then we talk about the product, right? That's why I created a challenge, a complete challenge designed to give you a fast and easy science-based roadmap to master all of these 3 pillars and skyrocket testosterone levels in as little as 30 days. So this is where we first mention the product, and then obviously we break down the whole offer essentially here in the VSL, and then at the end we pitch them with the call to action, which we're going to look at now.
This leaves you with 2 options. So option 1, you sit on the sidelines. Tomorrow turns into next week, which turns into next month, next year, and a year from now, years from now, you're still in the same place you're in now, but usually worse. It usually gets worse if you don't make any changes. Option 2, you make a life-changing decision. You take a bet on yourself, you go all in on the Mojo Mastery Challenge. You get your mojo, you get your physique, and you get the girl. Worst thing that can happen is that you get your money back from our 30-day money-back guarantee. So you literally have nothing to lose. You only have upside. So click the link, sign up to the Mojo Mastery Challenge, and be ready to be part of the 5% that have the unfair advantage.
Now, this is essentially the call to action, which is just, hey, you can either stay who you are, low testosterone, no girls, no dates, or you can go take this challenge with us. It's going to be life-changing decision, and I will give you even a great offer. Now let's do this together, right? This is the call to action at the end. So this essentially is the whole VSL, again, 13 minutes. We do have different variations of this depending on the product we sell and to what audience we sell it to. Again, this is 13 minutes. We've also written VSLs that are 30, 45, or even 60 minutes, right? So it always depends on like the type of product, the awareness and sophistication level of the audience, and all of this. But for example, also VSL that's 13 minutes can crush. Now this has been the whole VSL basically. So this is the long story short of how to really build VSLs that crush. You want to research, you want to do great copy, and then great production. So these are the 3 pillars of great VSLs. With the copy, you want to have a good understanding of the prospect, meaning specifically market sophistication and awareness. You want to have a low grade reading level, so extremely simple language, and you want to use all of the psychological copywriting elements that we've spoken about in this video. With the VSL, you want to educate before you sell, right? As you can see here, we only pitch them the solution at the end of the VSL, and you want to give them different options with different solutions that they can potentially take, but obviously your offer is the best and most viable one. Now, if you want to work together with us on conversion optimization, funnels, offers, and VSLs, then I'd suggest you to just click on this link. This will take you to our demo booking page, where essentially you can just book a call directly with me. You and I are going to walk through your offer, your audience, your funnel, and everything. And then on this call, I'm just going to walk you through everything that I see a lot of potential in. And then again, also on how to craft VSLs, how to craft code-friendly offers, great product pages, great advertorials, how to run a lot of efficient split tests. Again, if you're interested in this, if you're a brand that's already doing mid 7 or 8 figures, then just click on this. Again, no strings attached. I'm just going to walk you through all of this, and then at the end you can decide whether you want to do this together with us or just implement it yourself. And thank you so much for watching this whole video. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, let me know your feedback down below in the comment section. And then if you have any other topics that are interesting for you, also just put it down in the comment section, because I'm basically pushing out new videos every Monday, talking about conversion optimization, offers, funnels, product pages, copywriting, all of this good stuff around how to scale further as an 8-figure brand. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see in terms of video breakdowns, and thank you so much for watching.